guys, and welcome back. And I wanted to switch gears here a little bit and talk about something different, which is modifying these turnouts. So for this particular layout, I had a bunch of Atlas number 4 switches that I wanted to use. So as you can see, I've got number 4 switches here in front of me, and the one on the right has been modified and the one on the left has not. So you can look at that, you can see the difference there. This also was an above the table switch, so it had the mounting holes right here. So what I want to do in this video is show you how to, modify these mounting holes to where they at least look somewhat realistic, as far as being railroad ties. And I also taken out these D ties here, so you can see it's kind of shaped like a D. They're just not really realistic looking at all. I think they're kind of toyish looking. So as you can see on this one, I've taken those out as well. And when I actually get ready to install the track, along with the ballast, we'll slip a tie down underneath the rail joiners here and glue everything down, so we won't be missing a tie here. So, and the other thing I did here is you can see I've taken the switch rod and just shortened it. And the reason I did that is honestly, on my layout, there's several areas in there where I'm hurting for room here. I don't have that much room to afford. So I'm going ahead and trimming all these down. Now, with that said, the only thing you got to be careful of is that you don't want anything on the road bed getting in the way to keep the point rails from making contact with the stock rails. So you just need to be very careful that there's no ballast or anything in this area right here that'll keep that from happening. So let's jump right in, and I'll try to do one of these quickly. What I've got here is I'll just take my utility knife. I'm going to work on this one right here. So what I'll do is I'll come in here and I will, first of all, we want to make sure that's, see, I've got a little bit of a brass nut back there where it mounted. So I'll get that out real quick. There we go. Alright. So I'm going to take my utility knife here and I'm just going to make a cut. Try to make a cut right along the edge of this circle here. So I come in here like this, and a sharp blade helps, by the way. And I'll just try to line it up and just start rocking it back and forth, letting that cut through, and then also just kind of pushing it all the way to the rail. Okay, then come over and do the other side. And the one thing you want to be mindful of when you're doing this is these point rails here are very thin. You don't want to bend them, so holding it and trying to keep it, everything tight with your left hand or right hand or whatever hand it is you're using. Be careful that you don't bend the track or the point rails. So I've got it started there, and I'm close to making that cut to the web of the railing. Then what I'll do is I'll come in here with my X-Acto knife, just using kind of the tip of it, just kind of turning it as I cut. Tighten that up a little bit. There we go. So, and you can kind of square it off. What I do is I take that X-Acto knife and just run it towards the webbing. Take that tip and then just kind of, my goal is to square up, to get the round shape out of what used to be the mounting hole there. So I'm going to kind of rush through this one just for time's sake on the video. but I think you're getting the idea of how to do it. Then what I'll do is I'll take my utility knife and just kind of lining up with, say, this rail and this rail, just making a pass. Soft here, get it nice and level. Just making a pass. You don't have to be, you don't have to cut it all in one pass. I'm just trying to score it, and then each time just kind of pressing down a little bit harder and a little bit harder. And like I said, I've already done several of these, so my utility knife's starting to get a little dull. So should almost be there. There we go. So as you can see, I mean, that's already looking way better. By the time we paint and ballast and do all that, it's going to look a ton better. Okay, so then what I do is take this off here. By the way, I had these numbered here as the way I had them laid out, preliminary layout on the track, so I make sure everything goes back just the way I had it laid out. So what I do here is I take the switch rod and push it all the way to the where it would switch for the main route, because that's the amount of rod. I don't want to cut it on this side, because if I cut it too short, take the chance of it getting lodged up underneath this, inside this groove here, and then not working. So what I do is I switch it away from the diverging route, or for the main line route, and I'll come in here about 1/16 of an inch away. Just kind of score that. A couple passes on it. Again, probably need to be really careful. I mean, you see I've already cut my finger once, but once you get it scored, you can just kind of snap it off. Check to make sure it's going to work. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take off this D tie here. These are actually pretty easy, so I just take my utility knife and line up. You can go back with a file if you want to, and file some of these little nubs down. I can go back in with my X-Acto knife and kind of make that a little bit more straight if I want to. Like I said, by the time we get ballast and everything down, you won't even be able to tell. And so there you go. So I've still got to do this and these two derails, but in a nutshell, that's how you do it. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. I don't know if any of you guys are working with above the table switches and you don't like the way that looks. I know I don't. Like I said, to me, this is a lot more realistic looking than this right here. So I hope this video was helpful, and we will see you guys in the next video.